Hey everyone, Nagar Jay, all of you, welcome back to another Thursday night underwriting call. Uh, as we wait for other people to join, I just want to say that this week has been a ridiculously crazy week as we just closed our deal that took 11 months to close. Okay, I shared this on our Tuesday call with my mastermind team that this is this type of stress sometimes and the responsibility that you have to take on as somebody that is a lead sponsor in a deal where there are a lot of things that are happening and you have to keep it all together. Other general partners, limited partners, they do not know what you're going through to put the deal together, to keep the deal going. They don't know the stress of what you're going to on a daily basis, how many phone calls you're taking, right? How many investors are asking questions. You're fending everything off all the time, right? So for the last 6 months or so, there were many periods where I was, there was nothing more that I could do except just be in surrendering of what's going on, right? So the last 6 months, there was points where I did everything that I could, and I just had to give it over. I had to have faith that it was going to work out, right? And I didn't bring it on. I don't bring the negativity. So there's a level of neutrality, and you are creating you're kind of the gatekeeper, right? So when you're running these deals, and I'm giving you guys kind of like a glimpse into what it takes to do a deal. And this was a small, simple $5 million deal. However, there was almost $2.7 million of investor money. When you are investing, when you are playing with other people's money, there is a lot of responsibility, there is a lot of pressure. And so this is why it's really good to be a part of a team with somebody that has that experience. That when the pressure is on, that they can handle it. Right. And I've been able to run these calls Monday nights, Tuesday nights, Thursday calls without bringing my stress onto these calls. Right. But now I'm super excited because we're funded and we're closed today. And thanks to one of my new good friends that now I consider him one of my good friends, but he came through and helped us close a deal in 3 days. 3 days. We only had 3 days, or we were going to be done. I was going to be out $250,000, and we closed. Our paperwork came in, the loan docs came in 10 minutes before title closed. If title closed and those documents didn't get in, that means we wouldn't be able to fund today, and the seller would have closed the deal. There was no extension whatsoever. That is pressure, right? How would you handle that type of pressure if you had $250,000 on the line? What would you do if you had investor monies on the line? So these are some of the things I want to always give you guys a glimpse on these calls, underwriting calls. All of my calls is to share my experience, share my network, my resources with you guys so that you guys can get to a higher level, right? It isn't about me teaching you and me wanting to be elevated or anything. It's about bringing everybody up to the same level, because if all 28 of you guys understood or even can have fathomed the experience of running these deals, then we would be able to do a lot of deals together. All of us together here on this call, I know just even one person here, we could do big deals together. Everyone here has something to offer. So we're going to start today by talking about what's coming in the next 12 months, what I'm already seeing in the market. How should we negotiate? How should we position ourselves? How important it is to retain and go after knowledge. And who do you surround yourself with? Who's the people that are going to be riding with you when you're going into your next deal? When you're going to be taking $3 million or $10 million of investor money, who do you want with you? Right? Because the people that are going to be with you are the people that are going to be able to help you, give you the confidence and give you that peace of mind so that you can go to sleep at night. Because if everything was on your shoulders, you will lose sleep. That's for sure. But if you knew that somebody had your back and that they were going to make it happen. What's up, Eric? Welcome, brother. If you knew that they had your back and they could get stuff done, that's who you want to be with. You should want to give up larger pieces of partnerships for peace of mind, for a good team. Right? I risk all the time by giving people partnerships, and a lot of them haven't turned out that well yet. I say yet because everyone still has an opportunity to step up. But I give people percentages hoping they will step up and fill the roles that they say they're going to fill. Whether the deal does good or not, whether you get paid or not, can you still step up and be a good partner? I'm looking for those people because at some point we're going to be running $100 billion, $1 trillion fund. I want to know who's going to be rolling with me on those. And the way that I do it is we do these smaller deals together. As we build up, every single deal is simply a stepping stone to the next one. So what's coming in the next 12 months is a lot of people are in trouble. Right? We all know this. We see in the news $1.5 trillion of loan maturing. People are in serious trouble. If they're in serious trouble, we can come in, not to smack people over the head with a bat, but and to really, take advantage of someone else's misfortune, but we can come in and always still create win-wins. Okay, when we create win-wins, I believe that the energetic level of creating win-wins not only opens up a good deal and a profitable deal for you and your investors, but it opens up a new relationship to the other party, to that party who will now go to bat for you. Right? Everyone should always think about your return on relationships and who will go to bat for you. Am I doing relationships in such a way that people will go to bat for me? And I'll tell you right now, it's not going to come from you trying to get as much as you can. All right, this is a mistake that I see a lot of people make, is that they're going to deals and they're asking for, what is it in it for me? What's in it for me? What's in it for me? If it's not enough for me, I'm not spending my time here. Like, we need to begin to change that mindset. So who are you going to roll with in this next 12 months where there are tons of deals happening? Right? There's going to be a lot of opportunities. People will be letting go deals at 30, 40, 50% of what they purchased at. And I'm not saying this to kind of be in a place to let's go take advantage, but it is a place for it's an opportunity for you to make something out of this market. These types of markets are the times where billionaires are made, large transfers of wealth, and it belongs to you too. You should have a piece of it. All right, for the last 2 years, I've done these calls, 6 calls a week, free calls. People are like, man, how much time can you give for free? I'm like, I am building my network. I'm building, and I want to build trust. I want people to go to bat for me. I want, when somebody says my name, that they only have good things to say. That's how important reputation is. Okay, now I'm dropping some of these things because I really want to land some things that are really, I believe these are the really important things. And as people start to join, they missed out on this part, but we will get to the underwriting part and all of that stuff shortly. So I do have a deal that I want to show everybody, right? Not like I'm going to pitch you guys a deal, but I want to show you what I'm going to do to be underwriting it, what we're doing to take advantage of what's going on in the market. There's a couple different things happening. And then I want you to see how this can relate to how you're going after deals. It's everywhere. I don't care if it's a single family property, if it's a 20 unit, if it's a 100 unit, if it's 1,000 units. Everyone across the board that has a deal on the market is probably distressed on some level. So we first mindset, number one, is that we want to approach this market knowing that everyone that is selling is somewhat distressed. And distress also means that maybe they have an opportunity to go into another deal, but they need to liquidate something else. Either way, if they're in trouble or if they're trying to get into another opportunity, that property needs to sell. Okay, so how do we go and look at these deals? This is why underwriting is so important. You want to understand just the basics of underwriting, right? I'm going to pull up something here. Kind of just give you guys a sense of how I'm looking at deals. And one of the things you should think about a lot of times is, how can I do a deal without using any money? Not that you should always do that, but you should think about how you can do that. Because if it makes sense and you can do that, that means you can raise capital for it. That means it's going to be such a sweet deal for someone else to invest into. All right. So I'm going to show you guys some due diligence stuff that came to me today with a deal that we actually just got rewarded. I don't know if I'm going to raise capital for it or not, but I do want to show you guys what my thinking always is. Right. And I do want to introduce you guys to somebody that has made a world of difference for me. After 2 years of networking, of being on calls, being on Zooms all the time, building your social media, everything is building towards your brand. When someone sees your brand, like what do they see? Right? And the vision that you have, what do they see? You are always selling yourself no matter what. Capital raising is probably the most challenging part. It's not finding the deal, trust me. It's finding the capital. Okay, a lot of people say, "Oh, find the deal, the money will come." Sometimes, yes, but you still got to know where the money's at. Okay, especially when it gets to some big numbers, because you may just not know where to even ask for $1 million, $5 million, $10 million. Even if you would make 100% returns in 1 week, you may not even know where to find that money. Right, so it's about networking. It's about building those relationships. And you guys know me on all of my calls. People that I have vetted are the only people that I invite as guests and that I promote, right? People that either I've worked with, I know they're their word, they're in integrity, and that I've worked with personally, that I've had a good experience with. Because that's what I'm going to share. But for now, let me show you guys what a T12 looks like. We haven't looked at a T12 in a while, but we'll look at a T12. And then after this, I'm going to introduce you to the guy behind the guy. We always want to know who's the money guy behind the guy. Right? And those are the ones that people protect with everything. Not me. I'm all about sharing. I'm all about sharing. I'm all about promoting, all about teaching, mentoring. Okay. So I'm going to share this with you guys. This is a 125 unit hotel that is across the street from the property that we just closed today. Thanks to my boy, who I'll introduce here in a minute, like I said. But okay, let's look at the T12. So the T12 is basically the trailing 12, which is the last 12 months of financials in a property. So we're going to look at from, this is from January, this is a December one. Hold on, let me go back. I hope that with what I show, when I show something about what I'm looking at, like it helps you guys also look at things that you're looking at in the same way. I want you guys to think like I think, because the more you think like I think, the more we're going to be able to do deals together. The more we're going to be able to communicate and partner and do things together. All right. So I'm looking at this deal, right? So in the last 12 months from August 22nd to July 23rd, I'm going to ask for more updated info. But their NOI, this is the number that we're always looking for, right? What's the NOI of this deal? It's $1 million. $1 million on this deal. I'm gonna bring my handy dandy. Just remember this number. This is all I care about right now is what's the NOI of this deal. See, people get super in depth with underwriting. I can do deals based off of almost nothing. And napkin underwriting. This is what we do a lot, to do the napkin underwriting, because when we go into the deal, when you get it under contract in the next 12 months, speed is going to be important. Don't wait around forever. right? A lot of people take forever when they make offers because they're just not ready. So you want to get yourself ready. In our 12-week multifamily mastery class, I help you guys get ready. Like, who are the people that you need on your team as third-party vendors? Who are your GP teams? What are the structures? How do you create that? Because partnership agreements up front is important. Okay, how many people have made, loose agreements with people and only later to find out that, oh, there was a misunderstanding here. There's, miscommunication here. Those are important things to get done up front. This is about partnerships, right? I've had tons of partnerships in my life. I've had a lot of experiences in that. So being upfront, getting really clear on what the percentages of split is of the GPs. Okay, don't have this conversation later down the road after the documents have all been drafted and the deal's already under contract, and then you go through that. That's unnecessary. Have tough conversations early. Uncomfortable. Let's not even say tough. It's just uncomfortable. Change your relationship to uncomfortable conversations. All right. So let me switch my share here to this. I love my iPad. I love drawing on it. I feel like I'm like really a teacher when I do this. It's fun. Now let me move my sandwich. Okay. Come on. Loading. Hold on. All right, everybody see? Okay, remember, let's just start with NOI 1 million. $1 million. What they want for this deal is 13.6 million. I need to see what I can offer for this. So in the beginning, when I underwrote this deal, I was looking at certain types of debt. Debt is really part of your underwriting in today's market. Who gets the best debt will actually be able to buy the deal, because if you can't get the best debt, you won't be able to pay certain amounts. You will be negative. So we do this every week, but I'm going to skip to exactly where we're at already. I'm not going to go through 13.6 million. Is it working? And then come back down to a certain other price. If you want to see all of that, just go to a different recording. And every recording, I kind of run through a different deal and we work the deal down, up, backwards, side to side, front, back, everything. So we understand the relationship of every number to another number. All right. So I'm going to tell you right now, our offer was accepted at 11.5 million. Okay. Now, what do I need to do? First, I'm going to find the debt. Like, what type of debt can I get? Right. So right now, I know that there's a debt that I can get at 5%. At 5%, the next question to ask when your debt, this is the interest rate, right? Is it 5% interest only? Yes. Okay. The next question when you're going for debt is, what is the LTV? What are they willing to do and what can you afford? Those are the two questions. Because sometimes you can only afford 50% LTV. I'm not gonna right now. I'm not gonna go too complicated into DSCR, but that's how typically we will look at deals and how banks look at deals. What is your DSCR? DSCR represents your NOI divided by your debt service. Share that. I'll actually draw that on in a second. So we're gonna be, what is our LTV? What can we afford? Right. So I'm gonna guesstimate first. What does currently in our market 70% LTV look like for this deal? LTV is the loan to value. How much will they loan you? So we initially underwrote this at 70%. So I'm like, okay, 11.5 million. And I'll actually tell you that when we first drew it, we drew at 7.5%. Okay. I'm sure everyone that is underwriting deals right now, you guys are probably underwriting your deals. And if you're doing it, 7.5%, that's probably safe of what you could probably get on your deals. Yes. Okay. So 7.5% of, 70% LTV. Hold on, let me let somebody in. 70% LTV of 11.5 million. You guys can take your calculators out and follow with me. 11.5 million times 0.7, your debt, they'll give you 8.05 million. What does that mean? That means you're going to have to come up with 3.45 million Okay, that's your down payment. This is your debt, indicated by these two little arrows I'm going to put next to it. 8.5 million at 7.5%, 8.05, sorry, times 0.075. Okay, that is 603,750. This is your debt service, how much it's going to cost you per year to service this debt. We know the NOI is at 1 million. Okay, we know the NOI is at 1 million. That means we're going to have a cash flow, 1 million minus the 603. So let's just do 1 million up here. Okay, NOI. NOI represents net operating income. That is your total income minus your total expenses before debt service. Okay. NOI is the most important number that you need to know when you're underwriting deals. Hang on. Let me let people in. So what is this? This is so minus that you got 396,250, right? You guys should try to like follow along if you can. Putting this into the calculator while you're following along with me will help you understand what's going on. This is called your cash on cash. Or hold on, sorry. Hold on. That's not your cash on cash. That is your free cash flow. Right? Cash flow is important. But this is a hotel. This is a business. Hotel is a business. That means we need to have businesses should have higher cash flows because anything can go, anything can happen, right? COVID can happen, hotels are done. I don't know. But let's see what your cash on cash is on this deal. Cash on cash is your free cash flow divided by, let me remove that, divided by your down payment. 3.45 million. So let's go back to our calculator and we take 396,250 divided by 3.45 million. That gives us 11.48%. This is your cash on cash. All right. Now, syndication deals, because you're a general partner, there is a GP LP split. What is a good percentage to give to your limited partners? If today you can give a 7% cash on cash, it's pretty good. People will be happy with 7% cash on cash. So let's call this 70-30 split. GPs get 30%, LPs get 70%. So we multiply this 11.45 by 0.7. That means your LPs are getting 8% cash on cash, and you as the GP gets 3.48%. Okay, of this. Now I don't know how much money you put in there, so this could actually be infinite for you. Oops, that's not an infinite sign. If you already pulled out all your money, it could be infinity for you. Infinite returns. This is what we want for not only ourselves, but all of our investors. And we'll talk about refinance and getting our investors' money out as fast as possible. This is how you build a great reputation, is if you can get your investors to infinite returns fast. Okay, now, good news on this deal is I don't really feel like raising 3.45 million. We got so much room on this deal. What happens if I increase my LTV? I can probably manage 85% with how much we're making here. All right. But so I go back and we start looking and I meet somebody. Someone gets me 5% LTV and he says, I can get you up to 90% LTV. I'm like, let me rerun the math. So let's rerun the math. We'll take all this out now. So let me erase all of this. Wait, there's got to be a faster way to erase. Hello? Nope. Nope. All right. Nope. Fine. be that way. Sorry, guys. If Nick was here, he would know what to do. I have to deal with some little yellow markers here. All right, so we're going to redo this. We're like, that works. I'm already in on this deal. At this point, I'm already submitting my LOI for this deal. Okay, I'm already saying 11.5, we're good. If this is what you want, right? We submitted at 10.5 just to see where they're at. They came back. If you meet 11.5, then we are good to go. I'm like, okay, how do I do this deal? It seems like a good enough deal that I don't need to raise any capital. How do I do this with no money at all? This is what I'm thinking. Okay. So 90% LTV. Let's continue this math, right? LTV is what? 11.5 million, 11,500,000 times 90%. That is 10.35 million now. Now I'm only raising 1.15 million. This sounds very doable. I mean, for those of you guys have been around the game a little bit, 1.15 million is not a lot. For those of you guys that are just coming onto this call, 1.1 million might seem like a lot. But I'm telling you, 1.5 million, 1.15 million can be achieved very, very fast, very easily. So let's look at this at 5%, at 5% interest. 10.35 million times 0.05. Ooh, it's even less than what we were going to pay at 7%, 7.5%. You see how like this 2.5% is such a massive number? This is why the person who's going to get you the debt, if you know where the money's at, this is part of your capital stack. Your capital stack is your debt, and then it's your pref equity or whatever it's going to be in there, and your investor money, right? Your equity money, your down payment. So there's a lot of different ways to structure that. We're talking about all the capital stack right now. Capital stack is everything that you need to fund this deal. All right, simple terms. 5.1, 517,500. This is my debt service. My debt service is, it's going to cost me 517,000. And our NOI, what was our NOI? Our NOI was 1 million. 1 million minus this debt service of 517,500. We are at I could do this math very quickly in my head, but I don't want to. 482,500. This is my cash flow. It's like even better than what we were getting before. And if we did 482,000 off of 1.15 million of raise, right? You divide this, sorry, line in the wrong place. You divide this, this is your down payment. We're looking for a cash on cash. Dude, this is a 42% cash on cash now. That is stupid. It's so stupid. It's so stupid that I don't even want to raise this money anymore. Because now I'm going to look at a different, here I got my debt here. Okay, my debt is this side that is costing this, creating that type of returns. Now I'm going to say, how do I want to raise this 1.15 million? If you give it to an investor, okay, typically this is what it's going to cost you. You bring an investor in, that's how much it's costing you, plus the appreciation, all of that. So now my investor, it costs too much to have my investor. However, I may want to bring some investors in if I'm about building my reputation at this point. So there's a lot of things you want to look at, right? I want to give my investors 42% cash on cash. If I do that, I'll be a freaking legend in today's market. 1.15 million. 10 people get to be a part of this deal. That's it. Maybe 5. Right? However, I'm thinking in my head, if I go get a hard money loan at 1.15 million, let's call it 13% interest. People are like, fuck, that's a lot. But is it? 1.15 million times 0.13. That is 149,500. Okay. We are going to have our free cash flow from before, 482,500 minus 149,500. How does $333,000 a year cash flow from $0? What type of returns is that? All right. So this is what's going to be out there in the next 12 months or so. But you have to understand how to do all of this. You have to understand where you can get money. Okay. You got to be on these calls. You got to network with more people, which means you may want to bring some people that you know onto these calls so that they can speak the same language as you. It isn't about you understanding more than people. You want people to understand the same thing you understand. So when you pitch them something great, they get it. That is my intention on these calls that I do. Is I want you guys to get it. So you can do deals like this yourself, or if I showed you this deal, you'd be like, yeah. How do we get to be a part of it? I've seen so many deals being pitched. I'm on Grant Cardone's calls. I'm on all the different deal places. I see deals flying through my email, and I'm in a bunch of rooms, Facebook groups, everything. There's no deals like this yet that I've seen. Because you can't be stuck in the way that you think and how things have been done in the last 10 years. You have to be ahead of times. And I'll tell you right now, all the statistics that you see everywhere online, all those stats, every statistic that you see is pretty much outdated. If you're looking at, median income, you're looking at all these things, all those stats are outdated. They're behind. Every stat that you will find is behind and it lags. That's why you need to know your market more than those statistics. That is your core competency and your advantage over everyone else that is looking in the market. You need to understand it and you need to know how to underwrite it. You need to be ahead of the game. And this is where you do it. All right. So this is a fantastic deal. I just want to show you guys how I look at deals. And people are like, oh my God, I can't find deals right now. Is deal flow the hardest thing? I don't even go out. I don't call any brokers anymore. I don't go and seek out and find these deals. I just know the market that I want and I stalk it until it becomes mine. All right. So take some questions before I introduce the man behind this man right now that's talking. Come on, y'all. You gotta have questions. Haley, yes. Hello, friend. It's good to see you again.
Hey there. Very dope deal. Um, Question, how long would the hard money loan be? Is it 6 months, a year? What is typically typical?
I don't care. I'll do it for us. I mean, look at that number, right? So I don't really care. Usually you want to get out because you're going to be hurting and be in the negatives, but I don't care. If that's the type, if I'm getting $333,000, keeping a 13% interest loan on it, it's the interest loan is on 1 million. I got a 5% on 10 million. So if I really average that out, it's a great thing for me. And it's 100% covered by loans.
Yeah.
Right? By the debt side. This is how we can put deals together now. If you're looking at single family properties, same thing. What's your capital stack? That means you have your conventional loans, you have hard money loans, you have construction loans, you have seller financing, you have all sorts of things to add to your capital stack besides your own cash. And if you can do that in the single family, it's no different to do it on a $10 million, $100 million, $1 billion deal. It just comes down to what type of people are you surrounded by and what conversations are being had. I'm telling you, that is it. It's just the conversations that you're having. What are they saying? See, I keep talking about deals like this. You guys are going to believe you can do it. And you guys are going to be like, wholesale deal, $70,000, $400,000. Like what? Right? This is me. I want every time we have these calls that your mindset becomes elevated. That you elevate your belief about what you're capable of doing. My end goal is to end world poverty. That's my end goal. And I've designed something that maybe if we have time, I will show you guys. Some of you guys have seen it. The fund model that we're about to come out. If you had this deal right here, are you able to raise some money to be a part of it? If you show somebody that 42% returns on your cash on your money, I'm sure you guys can all raise some money for it. This is the types of deals that we're going to be going after. And we're coming in with a freaking fat fund that will buy deals cash first. That means not only are we going to be able to get that deal, but we will be able to take another $2 million off of it because we'll close it in 20 days with that cash. Now, don't you want to be raising capital and creating your own, becoming a fund manager to invest into deals like that? Right. So that's what we're going to be looking at. And shit, if Nick was here, I would have the link for you guys to what can I do here? Let me text Nick real quick. 1 second. Other questions?
So I've got a quick question. I apologize. I don't know how to raise my hand in this app.
You're good. Just speak.
That T12 that you mentioned, and I haven't been part of many of these. I apologize. That T12, how accurate are those numbers when you get them? Have you ever found them inflated? And how
Typically, no. Like you'll find you can always hide numbers, right? But typically on larger deals, they have a management company running it. Management companies are not about tarnishing their own names to do anything for you. Now, if it's their own management company, possibly. This is why the due diligence period is important. Like for me, when I looked at that T12, there was a month that was $189,000 in NOI. First question I ask is, hey, Kathy, broker, can you tell me what happened in November last year at this time that you guys did $189,000? Right? Can I see the reports for that one? Right? It's easy. It's easy because I know what to look for. And that takes time. That's because I underwrote 1,000 deals. Now, if you guys are thinking of how can I get to as fast as where Alex is, underwrite 1,000 deals. How fast can you underwrite 1,000 deals? 1,000 deals is 3 deals a day for the rest of the year. 10 deals a day for 100 days.
Alex, how do you go about getting those T12s? How do you go about getting the information from a client? You submit an interest, a call an interest, what? You find it.
Sometimes they'll just give it to you. I mean, you go on Crexy, you go on LoopNet. Sometimes they'll just give it to you if you just sign an NDA. Sometimes they'll ask for proof of funds, right? And this is why a lot of times funds have the best deals, get the best prices. You know, their purchase price is the best because they can come in and say, look, here's $20 million. Right? I'll close it in 20 days. You give me $1 million less. You give me $2 million less. You release all the information to me right now. They'll say yes. And then they're going to give you every deal they got also to show you. This is about building relationships with brokers. However, we are lucky because we are in a period of time where brokers are not doing very many deals and they're doing deals that are dragging on for months and months and months. And they're doing a lot of work and it falls out of contract and they don't make any money when they worked for 6 months on something. So right now at this point, brokers are like, I'll talk to anybody, right? Everybody's a prospect. I need to close the deal. I need to feed my kids. This is the way I make money.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you.
But you know, early in 2020 or 2021, you try to message a broker, everything was selling so fast, they don't even have time to answer you unless you got a big name, big company behind you. All right. So my goal is that every single brokerage in the country will know who Legends Equity Group is when this market is over. When what we're seeing right now is over, we will have a big ass flag that everyone will know exactly who we are. And this entire community will get to leverage any success that Legends Equity Group creates. Because we're going to give you guys a real, true opportunity to be a part of the thing, like for real. That you guys will all be fund managers for what we're creating. And I'll show you guys the drawing in a second here, or in a little bit. I do want to introduce my buddy here. But John, go ahead, bro.
Hey, Alex, I wanted to ask on the downtowner. It sounds awesome, and I was wondering,
It is awesome.
you know, if there's an idea of what a minimum investment would be and like a time frame to how long you'd be raising funds and an estimated close time.
Yeah, so a lot of you guys know we were trying to buy Tony Hsieh's entire portfolio in the downtown Fremont area. Where we're at is this downtowner is our first opportunity to perform. I cannot mess around. In my last deal, I messed around and it took me 11 months to close. I was raising capital from all over the place instead of just looking at exactly how can I get to the closing table faster. Right? I'm like, I want this person to, I want everyone involved, and that actually slowed me down. So where we're headed to now in the future is people need to make decisive actions of, do I want in or do I not? Right? We're in a period of like, we need to take action quickly. I will be doing these calls all the time and supporting you guys for free. But at some point, you have to take action and be like, I'm in. I'll do whatever it takes to be a part of it. You know, I see the vision. I see how I can be a part in the vision where I grow with the team. Is there such a team that has you be a part of everything that they do? I don't know. Go look around. Go search around to the biggest names out there. How hard is it to get into a deal with them? Right? How do you become a participant or a partner on their deals? I know that I can try as hard as I want, and Grant Cardone's probably not putting me as a GP on his deal for any of his deals. Right? So everything that I do, you guys, people that have been on this call, you know where my heart's at. You know what I've always tried to do is, how do I be inclusive of everyone in the community? People in my mastermind knows the same thing. I'm always like, how do I help you guys become a partner? How do I give you guys hands-on and live experience of what's going on? Even if I got to give up a whole bunch of equity, I don't have to give those up, but I don't want to climb to the top of the mountain by myself. I want 100,000 people to be there with me. I want 360,000 people to be there with me. 8 billion people to be there. All right, go ahead, Josh.
It's a pleasure to be here, Alex. But when looking at deals, are there any situations where NOI isn't the most important metric to look at, or are there other metrics to look in unison with NOI?
NOI determines the value of the property. Okay, most cases, that's what it is. Now, of course, if you know your market so well, and you know that this thing is in the trash because they're just like not taking care of it or whatever is happening, and you're like, okay, I'm not really going to look at the NOI. I'm going to look at the pro forma that I'm coming up with. Okay, not what the broker's coming up with, because in an OM, it's all a bunch of nonsense. Right? I always say it's optimistic to borderline bullshit to full bullshit. That's what an OM really is. You want to be very clear on what you're looking at. You got to understand your market. So, you know, they're going to show you a deal that's like, oh, it's a cap. And you look at it like, dude, this is in Florida. And how are they running at 13% expenses? Right? These are things that as you underwrite a lot of deals, you're just going to know, and you're going to see these things. I can't teach them to you verbally. I can say it, but you may not even be able to retain it. But if you go and underwrite these deals, you will retain those things. Okay. So if you are not underwriting deals, freaking start underwriting deals. Okay. Don't make excuses like, oh, I'm not good at math, all of this. Like tomorrow, find a deal online, start underwriting it. How do you find the deal? Loopnet.com, loopnet.net, whatever, LoopNet. Okay. Crexy, 2 places that you can guarantee will find the deal to be able to underwrite tomorrow. Even if it's a shit deal, just do it. Okay. So that you start to like get familiar with the numbers and looking at it. And if for nothing, You now will know the questions to ask when we're on these underwriting calls. Like, you guys see how passionate I am about teaching and about elevating everyone with. Okay, this is real. Like, I can do this without everybody, but I don't want to. My motto for when I look at deals, if I can do it myself, I don't want to do it. Right. And this is actually a mindset that everyone's got to really get with too, is you don't want 100% of $1 million. You want 1% of $100 million. Same $1 million. Guarantee you that $100 million, that 1% of 100 million is gonna take you to a whole nother level just by being a part of it. All right. Thank you for that question. Go ahead, Max.
Yeah, what I had two questions. One was what type of loan product is this that you're getting? Is that like international funds? Is that ESG? What is that?
Yeah, so I mean, you've been around me, so you've heard some of these lingos, right? And I think this is a great time to bring my brother Justin on here. Justin, you here?
Yeah, I am here. What's going on, man?
There he is, bro. So Justin is somebody that I met that I really feel like is going to change my life, and I believe I'm also capable of changing his life. Okay, so we're in a place where we have our paths are very aligned, and he's the one. He's the miracle worker. What does someone call you? Called you the walking miracle?
I don't know. I've heard of it.
Anyways, I just want to introduce Justin also. Justin, he's a phenomenal, phenomenal guy, and the hardest worker. And I have never seen anybody that was taking care of my loan go to bat for me as much as he has. Literally. Like, I've never seen somebody that wanted me to win as much as he did. And we met like a month ago. This is the power of relationships, and you need to cultivate and hone in on your ability to make great relationships very fast. We don't live forever. That means there's no time to waste. Okay. When you start a relationship with somebody, you need to be very clear on what your offer is, and you need to be very clear on what you need. Okay. If you guys start talking about football and the weather and all this stuff, opportunity gone. First time I meet Justin, if we just talked about, football or baseball or whatever, none of this would have happened. Okay. But I knew exactly what I needed, and I knew what I had to offer. All right. So Justin, you introduce yourself a little bit, and maybe share with everyone how like our relationship came about from your perspective, because I know a lot of people have heard from mine.
No, absolutely. So I've been doing this since I was 13. Worked for a guy named James Batmazian, a good friend of my father's, and learned the whole industry. By the time I was 19, I was running a business with my dad. We own over 200 projects right now. My dad's been doing this for the past 78 years. He's been doing this for like 76, 75 years. And we built a family office, and market was really good, a lot of opportunities that we've had, and we've really broken off into the lending section. And we do a lot with international lending. We do a lot of ESG, which is green energy, solar lending. We do a lot of just different type of creative loans, how to solve problems, something that we really focused on. But we're very cautious with how we lend, just because the markets are crazy. And kind of came across Alex, and he came to the picture. We started talking. He told me about a deal he was working on, and I kind of came into it on the 11th hour. And when we started working on it, definitely was a crazy situation that we had to go through. And one thing I'll tell you guys about lenders today, and I have my own funds as well, so I am a direct lender as well. But I focus a lot on ground up construction now. That's really become a bread and butter for us, just because in construction you can create your own cap rates. There's a lot of good benefits about it, but it's a very, very, very tough market to get into today. So kind of hit it off with him, and we got into this loan situation. And lenders today is very tough to trust them, just because they'll tell you they can approve a deal, and a lot of times you never know the true story of what's happening. They'll give you a term sheet, they'll retrade your term sheet 10 times. they'll look for the slightest feather as to what they can find off of you. It doesn't matter what it is, could be something from 15 years ago, they're going to hold it against you. So, you know, it's just something to always take into account when you start working in your lending relationships. And, you know, works on a deal with Alex, and literally the day of closing, lender calls us and is like, hey, we're denying the loan. And I was like, what the hell? I was like, why? Like literally 2 hours before. And, you know, went to bat. I had a lot of arguments. I was up for probably 2 straight nights. We were given, you know, a 2-day notice to close this deal. And I was like, oh God, here we go. So I fought tooth and nail to the hardest for Alex. And basically, this is absolutely unheard of. I got him approved and funded within 24 hours. So stuff like that, you'll never come across. You know, that's also just relationships that I have with people, you know, a lot of favors that are owed and stuff. So, you know, it's a very unique industry. You know, what I was able to achieve for Alex, you know, I built a really good relationship with him through the whole process. And his deal actually got, I think his deal closed, your deal closed today, by the way.
Closed today, yeah.
Yeah. So that was really cool for him, you know, to go through and everything. And, you know, I really connected with him. His vision is unbelievable. You know, I work with a lot of different people. Was at dinner with a guy tonight that's worth like $60 billion. And I can't figure out for my mind how he even got that type of money, just the way he talks. But, you know, it's all about, you know, who are you getting into business with? How are you finding these deals? How are you structuring the deals? How are you achieving, you know, good debt? Anyone out there who tells you good debt is 7-8% is crazy, because that's just not good debt. That's just market debt. Anybody could achieve that. You know, you want to come in competitive. You want to see how you can get the best cash flow, you know, how you can get your debts, your DSCR, you know, at a good figure here. And, you know, one thing I'll say about Alex is, you know, we're going to work on a lot of different projects I'm going to help him out with on the debt side. And, you know, you guys are definitely lucky to have a good person, or, you know, a good mentor here. I've been doing this for a while, loaned out billions we've been involved in, and, you know, he's really got a good picture going out here, and definitely happy to help anyone out, you know, when it comes to lending and what I can offer and stuff. And yeah, I'm
Awesome.
more of the guy behind the picture. Yeah, I'm usually the one that never shows up, but when you need money, I'm the guy to call, basically.
Yeah, I mean, dude, look, Justin is going to be somebody that we will, you know, that I'm definitely going to be, you'll see him more and more, you know, more of the things that we're going to create. We're going to be able to leverage it in order to build a much, much larger community. Because think about this. You guys know that I run a deal tank call on Saturdays, right? We've done a lot to support people in terms of, you know, sharpening your pitch and how do you go about negotiating deals, things like that. What if we were like, here is $500 million, bring your deals. Think about how many people will come, what type of community we will create if everybody knew the buy box. That's the important thing. See, people are looking at deals without knowing their investors or their lenders or their money's buy box. You're just thinking yourself, what's a good deal? But you just need to know their buy box, right? So Justin mentioned a term, family office. I believe family offices are the ones that are going to change the world. Okay. With family offices, you know, there's a lot of family offices. Family offices is basically like, if you think about a single family office, is the family's net worth, all of it put together, managed under one place. You know, they can get different types of debt. So let's say you have like $100 million net worth and you have 100 million, and you go and leverage it to 300, 400, whatever. And now you can invest and lend money and do things with, whether it's in, maybe they specialize and they because some family offices come from the venture startup side, right? A lot of those come from there because people exit hundreds of millions of dollars and billions of dollars. So a lot of family offices are on the venture side. A lot of family offices are on the real estate side, because real estate is also another place where a lot of money is made. And then some family offices are focused on just debt, right? And then there are some that focus just on acquisitions. Business acquisitions is a big thing. All right? A lot of family offices also focus on buying a lot of, let's say, like, you know, they want all the gyms, right? If you can put all the gyms under one place and you can sell it to them, then they'll buy it. All right. So there are people out there that are taking advantage of this, but they know specifically where they're going to exit. I got this family office that love funeral homes. What do they love to see? I need to I need to know all the check boxes. And I go out, I raise some money, I go and buy 5, 6, 7 funeral homes. You know, you can lower expenses by putting them all under one flag and one, you know, software. You know, if they're all operating together, expenses are shared. Now you take those 6, 7 funeral homes and you go and give it to the family office. You go and give it to the private equity. You know what they want, right? So we always want to work things backwards. Where's your exit? So I'm going to show you guys now this plan that I've been creating. Okay. And I'm calling forth lots of people to be a part of it. Every single one of you can be a part of this. And, you know, Justin is going to be a very big part of this game. But this is a calling. Okay. If you guys have been asking for a sign, if you guys have been asking for something, a break, clarity, vision, I'm going to share mine, and hopefully you guys can see how you can be in it. All right. Justin, if you want to share with them, like, what are some of the things that we're working towards right now? Like, it's cool to share what we're up to.
Oh God, every time you pull this stuff up, I look at formulas. I'm like, it's time to depict this. I've one thing
just share what we're up to and what we're, like, you know, potentially able to get, and what our vision has been together.
Yeah, so, you know, right now I'm working on bringing in, you know, a credit line here, you know, which is going to help a lot of the funds. I do a lot of business in Switzerland. I was actually, you know, working on a huge project with them right now. And, you know, I'm working on securing 500 million with Alex. And, you know, I feel so comfortable with everything he's doing that I'm going to back it, you know, to really push this deal to get done. And it's a line of credit, you know, so he pulls from it. No one has to pay any money off of it until, you know, it's actually drawn across. And we got that line of credit, you know, as of today, secured at 5% interest, which in today's market is unheard of. You know, it's just not realistic. You know, people will look at you with 10 heads and say, how the heck is that possible? But it's definitely achievable when you have good relationships with the correct people and you're pulling off the international. Because if you guys were to go look in Switzerland at what they're lending at right now, they're lending at like 2.9 to 3.5% on a 10-year, which is ridiculous. But, you know, I was in Nevada a week or 2 weeks ago. I don't even know anymore what it was. But, you know, we're working out there, and, you know, I met with the brokers. You know, I handed off, what was her name? Kathy. So I handed off to Kathy our bio. She was very satisfied with my family office bio. And, you know, we're working on, you know, hopefully getting locked up, you know, some of those lots out there, which I'm really, you know, pushing for, where, you know, this is going to be the call for everyone to get involved in, where we can do some really good ground up, you know, construction projects out there, building the vision. That area supports it already. Working on, you know, picking up all those other assets, like the like he said, the downtowner. The downtowner has a major component, you know, that's nobody really paid attention to. And then when I was there, I was like, holy shit, there's a whole development opportunity attached basically across the street to this project, where you can come in and build a community center, another high rise out there, or whatever the scenario could be out there. And, you know, really picking up his whole portfolio and, you know, continuing the vision, building a legacy out there, and, you know, turning this area into something big. And, you know, I've been talking to a couple of these another broker out there who, you know, has land all surrounded near that area. And, you know, it's great opportunities to come in and really control an area. One thing that, you know, I've always learned in real estate, and what I was taught, and these are just, of course, across projects that we own ourselves, is, you know, you want to control an area. You know, owning a ton of properties that are all sporadic, great. You're just a property that someone's driving by. Who cares? You know, unless you're the Ritz-Carlton, or you're a very known brand, like you're going to a Lincoln, let's say Class A project, you know, then they're going to stop, and, you know, it's an eyesore. But when you control an area and you're really able to bring the vision, community, and all the major components together, you're building success, you're building true value to a community, and you're building respect. Respect is the most important thing in this industry, because that's what opens up the door for you to get, you know, bigger deals, gets you into off-market properties, and it really gets your name known out there. Without respect, you know, you're gonna have a lot of trouble in this market, especially where the market is going today. It's becoming very challenging just because of where the interest rates are. And unfortunately, I've probably underwritten 20,000 deals. And the problem is, a lot of sellers are stubborn and, they don't want to let out, or they're on variable interest and they're all taking a major loss right now and they don't know what to do because they're in situations. So, a lot of the stuff that, Alex has got me involved in what we're building and is fund of the funds of the funds, which is absolutely genius in my opinion as to what he's building here, is, a legacy like no other. And, I'm very, very cautious myself when I get involved in deals and just where I put, my family office and where we put our capital and stuff. And what I'll say about what Alex is building out there, it's what I call, what Tony Shea has out there, what we're able to get on. And, we have those brokers lined up, like ready. Like, I'm pretty sure Alex has a meeting with Richard, like the head guy who makes the decisions. We have everything locked up basically, verbally at this point. And it's going to be very exciting to see this all come to life and the projects that are going to happen out there with everyone. And it's, let's just say through 2024, I don't have enough time to take on other clients. So this is major.
So yeah, thank you, Justin. You guys were here before I met Justin. I was talking about this vision for a pretty long time. Okay, for maybe like a year. It requires you, and people are like, "Oh, don't share it, don't share it." I'm like, I need to share it because I need to find Justin. I need to find Justin. This is what I was looking at. I was like, I have great vision. I know that I really care for people, and that with a community like this, we could make it happen. But I was looking for the right person to really make me stand out with the estate, and so I was sharing it. And this vision does not happen without me meeting Justin. After I met Justin, this whole vision became clear. You guys all heard pieces of it before. Just like when you guys join into this, when you guys say, yes, I'm in, this vision becomes bigger and clearer with each person saying yes. Okay, because you all carry, every single person in our community and in the world carries a piece of the vision of what I'm attempting to create here. All right. And I want to create just a model for JP Morgan, for Vanguard, for Blackstone, for Fidelity, for all the gigantic funds out there to follow. All right. It's not profit first, it's impact first. So I want you guys to know that is the number one thing about what I'm creating here and what we're going to be creating is that impact goes first. Impact goes first, profit comes. Now, what you guys are seeing here is a lot of arrows going all over the place, but we start right here where it's circled on the bottom left side. Okay, that is our fund number one, which is the Tony Shea Legacy Fund. It is in the real estate category of funds. There is also another type of fund that we got to get into. It's called debt fund and then venture fund. These are all coming very soon as well. But the number I wrote, one next to it, that's like Vegas. Okay, let's just say Vegas. We need that. Each one of those funds could be $1 billion, could be $100 million, $500 million fund. Now, all the other little boxes next to it, that is all funds like funds, but in the real estate portion. There could be 20, 30 of them, each one being 100, 200 million, whatever amount that's going to be. Same with the debt. There could be 20 of those. Same with the venture. There could be 20 of those. There could be more. I don't know. Above that is our Legends Equity Group Fund. It is a fund to fund that funds all of these funds. It diversifies into those funds. All right. What we need is you first to come in. These boxes up here are also fund to funds, and those are you and your team. You are now a fund manager. First, our $500 million line of credit will secure deals, get us the best price, everything. Then we refund it with the fund to funds to take out that line of credit so that we can use it again to do something else. Right. So now, because if you just had a $500 million fund, you go and do 2 deals and you're done. Right. But what we're doing is we're having our members come in to such great assets of funds. You're funding into those. All right. And you may ask, oh, I don't know the first thing about funds. This is what we're going to be teaching too. I have great teachers, security attorneys, capital raisers, all sorts of things lined up. Okay, so to help you win. Your fund of funds will be created for you. Your thesis will be created for you. Your documents will be created for you. Your investor portals, everything done for you. Nobody does this. People that do this, the danger thing is they let you just go out and run out and do your own thing, and people get screwed over, and people mess up, and it's hard. This is why I said it's under one umbrella, one vision, and I hope that I can enroll you guys to a vision that you can see yourself being a part of. All right, so fund the funds. Now, remember, I always said first thing is how do I get all of my investment out so I can be infinite returns and for my investors. All right, so we'll talk about that in a second, but here is what we're looking at. Every single one of these little boxes down here need CEOs, CFOs, CTOs, CMOs, CIOs, board of advisors, a whole team to be involved. I can't do all of those. You will have your own fund of funds so that you can become a fund manager, so that you can level up to become the actual members that is going to create these funds under our umbrella. Okay, CEOs of $100 million funds, $200 million funds make upwards of $300,000 plus GP percentage. Like, there is a way to move up, and it's not just, and it's about everyone being a part of it. Okay, the more people say yes to this, the more you begin your training. Your lesson begins here by saying yes to be your first fund of funds, which we basically handhold you through. And then those that do well, those that impress, that really shine because you've really embraced it, right? And trust, you will be probably members of these other funds down here. All right, our team, like, this is not something that Justin and I can do alone. We're going to need hundreds of people that are committed to the cause, to the vision. Okay, so top side, fund of funds. Okay, you're going to be funding the other funds. You're going to be funding Legends equity funds that funds into the diverse ones. Right, so there's a lot of arrows flying around, but these funds are simply just extensions of the other funds. The theses are very much similar and the same. The pitch deck will be created for you. How you pitch it, how you do it, how you capital raise is all kind of created for you so that you can practice. That level of practice is like no training, no learning you will ever have anywhere else. Hands-on like that. And we take away the challenges of doing your own deals, which removes the obstacles of you having to find a deal, you having to come up with risk money, you having to asset manage, you have to loan guarantor. These are things that are a pain in the butt, that are a part of deals that causes people to stress like crazy. Okay, most people are going to let you into deals anyways if you can raise some capital. If you can raise capital, okay, we'll let you into some of this deal. But all of that, you can't actually legally do that. But fund of funds, this is a legal way to be a part of something amazing. All right, so what you're going to get, and I'm just going to tell you straight up right now, it's $50K to be a part of it. $50K to be a part of it. You can create 5 people on your team to make this happen. Okay, I think, did I put the link in there for people that are interested? Where is it? Max, can you put that link in there? I know you sent it to me earlier. If you're interested, just put your info in here, even if it's just a least bit so that you can learn more about what we're doing. Okay, rather than being scared about this 50K, this should be an exciting number. Because what you're going to get is you're going to get a fund of funds created for you. That's like 20 to 25K anyways. All right, and then you're going to get all the calls. This is going to be our vision council. You're going to be part of the vision council. This is beyond anything that I will offer or create. Like, I only want to be doing this. I'm very clear. The link isn't working, he said. What happens if we click it? Yeah, it does. I clicked it. It goes to a Legends Equity full name, email, phone number, little jot page. All right. So you're going to learn the capital raise. You're going to be a part of it. The fund thesis, pitching, investor relations. You're going to have education from our securities attorney that I'm paying to come and do this. We're going to have Exit Rich, which is someone that's going to come and teach you as you're doing this, right? How should you set up your own life with trusts and things like that? You do not want to leave your family hanging if you croak. Okay. All the stuff you're going to be doing, you got to build it smart from now on. Okay. We're going to have all of that. You're going to be a part of Jeffrey Hazlett's C-suite network, which is CEOs, CFOs, founders of big companies. Your network's going to expand. This is a no-brainer. Now, what you do is when you raise capital, this 50K right here, oh crap. Vision Council. This 50K right here is something that you raise out of. You raise that money back out. Now you are a fund manager. All of your money has been recouped, and you're going to make money direct from the funds. Okay. And you're going to be leading your peoples into it. So my first benchmark is to have 10,000 fund members raising $1 million each. Okay, I think that's 10 or $100 billion. One of the I can't. My calculator does not go that high. Actually, no, I'm gonna write it. 10,000 plus. What did I say? $1 million. That's 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I think that number is 10 billion. Okay, 10,000 people raising $1 million is $10 billion. Right? That's the level of like how quick this can happen. All right, so that is what we want to create, and $10 billion leveraged up is much bigger than that number. And when these and 10 billion, and that's 10,000 people raising $1 million, that means that's 10,000 times now maybe 10 or 20 more people that is now involved in Legends equity. Okay, so that's like 100, 200,000 people. Remember, my goal was, or some of you guys know, but my goal is to have 360,000 people in our community. I believe 360,000 people following this abundance mindset, being a part of a vision, the entire world will shift when that happens. That's my belief. It's called The Tipping Point. There's a book called The Tipping Point. When 2% of the population adapts a new mindset, the rest automatically follows. 360,000 happens to be 2% of 160 million. 160 million happens to be 2% of 8 billion people on the planet. Let's end world poverty. No reason world hunger, world poverty should even exist in our planet right now. Zero. No reason. Advanced countries like the United States needs to freaking step up. People that live in this country need to step up. That's how big the vision is. And that vision is totally big enough for every single one of you to say yes to. So there you go. I hope that inspired some people. I hope there's some more people put their emails and stuff into that list. And any questions? We got 12 minutes left on this call. Anything about that? Anything about underwriting? Anything about where you're at? How can I help you move forward? Wow. Mic dropped. I know it's a lot, but like this is, talk to me. Let me know how can I create more clarity for you all? Okay. What will be some resistances? I want feedback, right? Because your feedback builds to the vision. Go ahead, Fraser. Thank you.
Well, I'll have to say, like, I've gotten some really good, emails and phone calls and messages from people in the group here, and they're really encouraging me to like step up and do the broker call. So I'm going for it tomorrow. I'm doing it. I'm gonna do
Let's
it.
go, start
I'm
it.
so nervous, but I'm gonna do it.
Bro, dude, they're human beings. Don't be scared about calling a broker. It's so fascinating to me that people are trying to learn this game and will not call a broker for like 6 months. Like they'll do everything possible to avoid just like making human contact. Like, let's go, guys.
I'll step in really quick. It's the opposite for me. I try to avoid the broker calls because they call me 50 times a day.
Well, you'll get to that point, right? You're gonna get to that point. I'm
But
also
don't be afraid, because the broker wants your business. They don't get paid without you. Like, that is literally what their job is. And then the brokers that choose not to answer their phones, I don't even bother with them. I'm just like, okay, you don't want to get paid. Bye.
bye. It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I with all the support and everything, I realized it was myself holding myself back, right? The fear of actually being successful, I think. And it kind of came to me today. I was like, what are you doing? So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, good stuff. Hey, listen, put all that fears and all those stuff on the shelf and just go to it like, dude, your life depends on it. Sometimes I think about like when I get nervous, I'm like, okay, if I don't do it, I'm gonna lose my arm tomorrow. And I'll say it because I'll jinx myself. So my ass better do something, right? So something like that I'll say. When I used to play basketball, I was very competitive. Every time we would be on the court playing, I would say there's $1 million on the line on this guy's not scoring. I literally believe that. We can believe these types of things. I'm like, $1 million on the line, we ain't losing the game. Like I forged my this grit, this thing in my mind of pushing forward from competitive sports. You can draw from somewhere, right? Everyone can draw this from somewhere in your life. Did you get drafted? No, I didn't put that. Maybe if I was like $1 million on the line or I lose my arm, I would draft in NBA, I probably could make it happen. I don't know. I was a really good player for sure. So hey, Fraser, what about this? What about this fund? Tell me about this fund. What do you think about it? You want to be involved in it? Fund to funds?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've put my name in a couple times. I'm like, gotta make sure he's gonna.
Okay, but what do you need to have your team happen? What do you need to say to have this be okay, boom, let's go?
Well, I'm talking to a couple people, like, because I'm putting in. I said to myself, I'll put 10 grand of my own money in right now.
Okay, cool.
And I 100% think that it's got the value, and I can see what you're wanting to do. I've had some information kind of coming in about like even that warehouse thing. I got some cool ideas for that as well. So
yeah,
we can talk about that like anytime you want, but for sure I'm definitely in on that. I gotta find those couple extra people that want to be with me to make this happen, and I'm in. Like I'm in.
I know you put your name in there. I know that you're ready to go. And that's why I asked you this question, because remember, every time you got the mic and every time you speak, you got to let people know, especially when there's 30 other people on this call, you got to let people know what you need to have something happen. See, now that you share that, people can now find you and be like, hey, Fraser, like, I know you can put 10K and I think I want to put 10K in. Let's go find like 2 more people or 3 more people. This is a team game, y'all. Like it's not that complicated. You got to make committed, like massive actions in order to have a big change happen in your life. Like 2024, you got 12 months to really capitalize on this market. Do not delay. Okay. I haven't even looked at the list of people that put their names in there. I know there's a bunch. We're going to create a call for that soon. But I'm gonna say it one more time on next Monday night's call, okay, the rookie roundtable call, to call people into this space, and then we're gonna start having a Zoom call around that. And we have a massive social media and Google ad campaign coming out soon. Okay, so you want to be a part of this on the early side of this conversation. All right. And
one thing I wanted to add to that really quick.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people that set up funds. I know a lot of attorneys that do this, and I've come across so many different funds. they typically charge, upwards to $27,000 to $46,000 just to set up a fund for you. And then they say goodbye. And then you're on your own. Like, they don't offer anything. They don't do anything that, is getting involved, bringing the deals, structuring, helping you. Like, they literally just set it up. You're legally good. And that's absolutely it. So like, when I saw and everything that Alex was trying to do, I was like, holy cow. I was like, you're literally like running the whole entire show, putting everything in, that needs to get
Yeah.
done. And I personally have never seen that, come across. Typically, when I get involved in stuff, I get a Dropbox and I have to decipher everything and figure out, what language I'm reading. And, this is literally like unbelievable when I saw how
I drew boxes.
nice, much nicer than when I come across.
Yeah.
So
This is not
it's actually
Yeah,
unbelievable.
go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
And then, back to one more thing I wanted to add in, like for that call tomorrow, like a recent call that I got on that I was debating about calling, I had to get a hold of the CEO of Marriott, and I needed to talk to him because nobody from that company would return my calls. And I was like, why do you guys have a phone number on your website if you just don't answer it? But, and that's like a lot of brokers, they put their phone numbers and they just never answer it. And I'm just like, okay. So I used a system that I have called Seamless AI. It's a good system. I don't think it's worth what they charge, but it's good. And I got the guy's cell number and I was like, you know what, I'm going to call him. I was like, maybe he'll answer. So I called and, he picked up. He's like, hello. I was like, hey, are you, whatever your name was? I said, my name's Justin from Q7 Capital Group. I said, can I talk to you real quick? I said, I have a project. We're developing 6,000 units in the west coast of Florida. And I said, we're doing an STR program. I said, would you guys be interested in flagging it? And then the first thing he goes to me is like, how'd you get my cell number? I was like, don't worry about that part. I was like, can we talk about this for a second? And, I drive the conversation to the point of, this is what I'm doing. This is what we're looking for. This is our vision. And I don't kind of pause in a sense where I give him a reply to kind of start questioning the scenario. I want to divulge everything into his head as fast as I can before he has a reason to say something and I can answer his question before it gets asked and then it gets awkward. So, that was something that I did. And I had no idea how that call was going to go because the guy's ginormous. And I was like, he'll answer or he'll hang up on me or something will happen. And, to this day, we're flagging a St. Regis with him. We're flagging a JW Marriott with him. We're flagging a Ritz-Carlton with him. So a call that could have gone one of two ways of hanging up or me, deciding to call and not knowing what the outcome would have been led to something huge. And, now we became friends and stuff. So that's why, it, regardless of the matter, don't ever let fear build on it. Just look at the bigger picture as what it can come. And, if it goes good, 9 out of 10 times it does. And if it doesn't, you call the next broker. That's just something, my opinion on something like that I wanted to share.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So thank you for that. And also back to Frazier, what I was saying earlier is like, now you got, this is a team game, right? So whenever you have an opportunity, this is just a quick advice. Whenever you have an opportunity to speak in front of people, you do not let that opportunity slip. That means before you even get to this point of speaking, you have to already have rehearsed it at home and wherever you can. Like, what is my ask? What is my ask and what is my offering? You have to be so clear about that when you walk into any conference, anytime you're going to meet a new person. Okay, before you go to the shopping, before you go to the mall, before you go to Publix or wherever, like, know that. What's my ask and what's my offer? Because who the hell knows? You may just run into Justin in the freaking Publix, right? And be like, hey, Justin, good to see you. How's the weather? Okay, see you later, dude. Right? Like, what? Don't let that happen. All right. So awesome, Fraser. Go. Jay.
Yes, thank you. It's great to be here with everyone and Justin and Fraser and all that. And I did fill out the form, but we are working. What are we looking for is we have a 70 city plan internationally. And I've said this before, it's in terms of values and the impact that we want to have. I mean, we've been working on it for a couple of years, but I think it was fate to have met Alex because it is a country true resort version of what he's developing in an urban setting. In other words, and it's not my quote, what Roger James Hamilton said, which is why we are going to be doing a few of them licensed with Genius U, even though they will look exactly the same. No one would know the difference. It's an entrepreneur incubator by default. So it's a cash flowing organization that teaches real estate, but shows how real estate should be done. And you're raising the next generation of investors at the same time, and they're learning from people that are not going to let them fall on their faces.
Awesome. You guys have like a MVP. You guys have things for already?
Well, we're developing the tech for the MVP, and I had a call this morning to get that on a schedule, which is, you and I are scheduled for another conversation on that. And the model is, essentially blueprinted. And so we're not doing anything new. We're just putting a whole new brand on things that are being done successfully in a true resort environment that's plant-based, where all the food is being grown instead of a golf course or a vineyard. We're growing all the food for the 5-star, hospitality functions on the properties, as well as a spinoff for the larger market segment in the urban areas. That's a family dining hub, experience destination off, from off ramps and highways. And it's a different market segment, but it's the same kind of giving your people who are on the ground working with you and for you stakeholder opportunities, and just teaching them everything they need to know about investing and becoming wealthy and having your life's work, being able to either adopt someone's vision or develop a vision of their own. There's no competition, there's only collaboration, and you are making it, Roger James Hamilton, he quoted Buckminster Fuller. He's like, we don't have a scarcity problem, we have a distribution problem. And so it's just every generation you're raising the standard of living globally just by having the kind of impact person to person that you're having in this chain of effects.
Yeah. I like the words I'm hearing. I'm not 100% clear on what it is yet. However, I do think you need to come and join us on our tech venture side, where we actually, right before this call, there's another call, and I'm going to invite you to it and also introduce you to my other partner. I also do something right before this called Pitch Kung Fu, where I sit on a panel and all the different startups and tech businesses and stuff pitch their deals, and they constantly pitch, and there's some really, really amazing people giving feedback on what you need to do next. How do you raise the capital? And we're actually building an entire, so you saw on that picture, there is a venture fund. Okay, so that is something that is being built as a machine, and there's an entire collaboration, a collection of family offices actually in that space. So we're actually bringing, Justin's coming in on the debt real estate side, and then we have a whole nother team, coming in on the venture side. And I think you would, fit really well into that space. And let's talk a lot more about that. And yes, so some of those people, Jordan Hutchinson and Kurt Walker, like those guys are really big in that venture space. So those
and
are
all
my
the funds that
partners.
Alex is starting right now, all the different structured funds that I was talking to him about are absolutely genius for today's market. Going into just, the debt funds, or, regardless of what type of fund, you get involved in, it's just so lucrative in today's market. The way he's strategizing it, and, coming in just with all the current debt out there today, it really gives that upper hand, which is very tough to, come across. And, it's a whole nother conversation on a debt fund of what you can, charge and earn and just et cetera on, just that market itself. And that's a conversation for, another day. So it's a whole topic, but it's, I really, 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 like how he's structuring everything. And I was very amazed to learn what I've learned from Alex, and, seeing what he's doing in the past month. I've come across some very interesting stuff, and, it really amazed me, seeing the way he structured everything.
Yeah. And Justin too, like I've learned so much just like on watching what you've been doing and how you've gone to bat for me, and like what's possible. It's changed the whole way that I'm looking at deals too, because 2 months ago I was underwriting deals at 6.5%, 7.5% too. And I was like, well, this is what's available for us, right? But it's not. You guys got to go out and meet new people. This is why I always bring amazing people onto these calls. And I know we're a little bit over time, but it's important that you guys hear this, right? You don't just settle for like what the market tells you, what society tells you. Like there are other things. People are playing a game at a whole nother level. And by coming together inside this vision of Legends Fund, we will have accessibility and resources together. With all of us together, we will be attracting big players as well. The goal is to have all the family offices come in and get behind what we're doing too, because it's just that big, right? Like, we're about making global impact. It's not just about getting a good deal. We make global impact. There is enough money to go around for everyone. And this is why you see, like, nobody has structured and built that vision that I've drawn out right there, that I know of, right? I know a lot of people doing all the different things out there, and nobody's doing that. Grant Cardone's not doing that. Everybody is kind of out there doing things for themselves, but this is truly for the community, and it doesn't happen without each and every one of you. All right, so Nagar, ask the last question, and then Roberto will go, and then that's it for the night. I'll see you guys again on the rookie roundtable on Monday. Probably not going to have a deal tank this Saturday because I'm going to be in Dallas, but I really excited for everyone to be here and hearing this vision. So thank you so much just for even being here and witnessing what's going on. Right, a lot of you guys have witnessed it from the start when the first moment I brought up Vegas opportunities. So it's unfolding, and it's unfolding fast, and none of this is going to slow down. It's only going to go faster. All right, go ahead, Nagar.
Hi. Very quick, dumb question.
No dumb questions. It's all good questions.
Very elementary. I don't even know, but I thought I asked anyway. So whatever investment we do, let's say 10,000, 50,000, whatever, is that like part of, because we're not talking about a specific deal, right? We're talking about raising money and then go after deals.
Mhm.
So if I'm interested, let's say capital raising, for example, investor relations and things like that I want to learn. So our investment, would that be part of LP side?
The 50K? No, this is just about setting up and your educational side. You're going to raise capital and all that. You're going to pull that 50K back out. If you want to invest in your own fund, by all means, do it. Right. But you're going to be raising capital from accredited investors to be a part of your fund that funds the rest of these. Right. And you're going to be one of the 10,000, 100,000 fund managers of the Legends community. And that is going to open you up. See, you're going to learn. See, remember, learning is first. Education is first, because that cannot be taken away from you. Everything else can, but what you know and what the experience you gain cannot be taken away. And the goal is for you to move up to become actually CEO, CFO, any of those positions in an actual, like the actual fund itself. Right. So get the experience, fund to funds. It's going to be a handheld for every one of you. Like, I'm giving all of me to it. I have some big power players that are also very enrolled into this vision, and they want to contribute. And the way that they're contribute is they're going to come in and they're going to teach. They're going to teach you guys about security laws, keep you guys compliant, right? They're going to teach you capital raising. Guys that have raised $2 billion going to come in and share. And then we're going to have someone come in and teaching you about how to build your life, have your stuff in trusts so that your family is taken care of, so that your life is taken care of if anything happens to you too. All of your money. Right? Those are
But
basic
this is just
things
educational. So it's educational.
It's going to be
Investment is
educational.
educational.
It's
nothing, no investment, right?
Yeah,
Just
but
to
you're
get
going to pull out
in.
that as your original investment. So your 50K will be part of the raise.
Part of the
Okay.
part of the raise. So
Part of the
later on
raise
it
is going to be
will
the money that you
become,
put in. Yes.
it will become LP later on.
Yeah.
Part of the
By all
investment,
means, you
part
be
of the deal.
you be a LP in your fund, and you can be a manager of your fund as well.
I see.
Okay. So
Okay.
yeah, but you will be
So-
paid as a manager of the fund.
Mhm.
And you're going to be working as an investor relations person and a capital raising person. I take away all the other obstacles of finding the deal, getting a person to sign on the loan, operating the deal. All of that is taken care of for you, including this whole process is going to be handheld, right? How you're going to pitch the deal. Everything is going to be there to help you with that. So to be clear, the initial invest that you get back, yes, you got to raise it, right? You got to raise it. And that is part of something that gets to be raised back out from your side, because it is the setting up of the fund. This is technically considered like EMD in a syndication deal, right? Your risk capital gets to be raised back out. You put it up first so that this thing exists. It's part of it. Even your marketing is part of it. Any money you spend is part of that to be raised back out. All right. So then we're going to help you structure and show all of that. Your legal docs, everything is in that. I mean, think about just this education right here. It's basically you put the money up and then we're going to help you bring it back free. Now you're in free education that's live, hands-on. Okay. There's nothing like this. Trust me. I've been around. I know it. Okay. Roberto, Fraser, Steve. Okay. Go ahead, Roberto.
Hey, Justin. First of all, I'll say nice to see you, brother. It's been a
Dude,
while.
I think what has it been, 2 years since I've seen you?
Yes, sir.
Small
Too
world,
long, too
small
long.
world.
Small
Hey,
world.
it is. Well, anyway, it's nice having you. Hey, so one of my questions, maybe many of us have questions about raising funds, right? So when you're raising funds with or without an asset that go towards, I mean, your field now, you're raising all kinds of money from everywhere, from Switzerland, overseas, whatnot. But do you have to be an actual licensed broker to do that, or
No.
us as members,
No.
right, handling those kind of funds? No.
Nope. Not
No.
if you're a fund-to-fund manager. Now, if you are just coming on as a syndicator, be a GP on my team, I cannot legally compensate you for raising capital unless you are a licensed broker, in which you will charge 1 to 2% for every dollar that you raise. Okay, that's legal. You have fiduciary, things, and you have to take some tests. So fund to funds, you are just a fund manager. You are exempt from that. You're raising capital and you're actually technically investing into securities. Okay, because you're not investing directly into the real estate, you're investing into a security of a company that has, this is our investment thesis. This is how we're going to get the best returns, because we have a large chunk of money that buys deals first, right? We're showing all the strategies. If I came in and said, hey, Roberto, you got a $10 million deal, I'll give you $10 million for it, but you got to give me like 160 days. And I don't know if I can close it because I got to raise it, right? Or if Justin and I came to you and said, Roberto, 30 days, we close your deal. Here's a proof of funds. Give it to me for $8.5 million. We just made $1.5 million on the front end, more than any other teams out there that are syndicating can possibly do. Just right there, the returns are $1.5 million greater already, right? We present things like this on a fund. We're going to teach you guys all the points of how you're going to be able to raise this capital. It's not going to be you going out on your own and try to explain something. I'm going to freaking give all of it to you, how we're doing it. Okay. If you can start talking about your funds like I'm talking about what we're doing right now, you will all raise $1 million, no doubt. All right. That is my commitment to everybody. Now, I'm not guaranteeing or promising anything, but I am committed to helping you all get to that level. All right. And you guys know I've been doing this for 2 years. It ain't about the money for me. It's about how I can lift you all up and expand your mindsets so that we can do deals together. If we understand how this deal works and our minds are the same, then it's going to be very easy to do business together. But if you don't even know how to underwrite a deal or what an NOI even is, I can't even do business with you because I'm going to spend too much time trying to teach you along the way. So I'm going to teach in the group setting. And then those that say yes are the ones that we're really going to be working together. All right. So Fraser, Steve, that's it. We've gone 13 minutes over. I apologize. I always want to respect everybody's time, and you guys have been here, and it's just, I get really excited about what we're creating here.
Roberto, it's good seeing you again.
Hi, buddy. We'll see you soon, man. We'll get together. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so for calling tomorrow for looking at deals, like I know a couple of areas of Las Vegas to look in, but I don't think they're probably around that kind of area that you're talking about with Tony Shea. Is there a specific?
Bro, your job is just to call the broker.
Fine.
It ain't even about trying to make it work and find the right deal right now. Your job is to talk to a broker and get comfortable with actually speaking to a broker and just be like, look, this is what we're looking at. This is what our team is doing. Our team just closed a deal, 30 units in Las Vegas. We're looking at the downtown. Leverage me. Okay, everyone, if you're doing anything, please leverage me. That's why I'm sharing with you guys. Leverage. I mean, don't make shit up. Okay, that isn't true, but you can leverage me. All right. So don't be like, oh, I'm on the team that does this, because then they're going to ask you questions you can't answer and you're going to look dumb. All right. Don't look dumb. Like, you can leverage me, but don't make shit up. All right. Especially, don't know that reputation is big. All right. So don't make me look like an idiot. Now, most brokers here already know who I am. So, I don't know. Do whatever you want to do.
A lot of brokers also fact checked. Like, they will look into it, and like everything that like I made on claim, they wanted a fact check, and I had to deliver everything that they asked for.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they will ask, if you do something like that.
They're going to be looking you up too. So, and this is also a thing. Okay. If you're, one of the things I used to teach people to do is you got to at least get a 1-pager going. Okay. If your email is fraser@gmail.com, they're going to take you less serious than if it's Fraser at, whatever capital.com. Right. Because at least they can be like, oh, very quickly, let me go look at this whatever capital.com. And now you get to build a 1-pager. Be awesome about it. So that's another little tip too. Okay. The way that I got the Ogden deal is because they looked at, oh, what is Legends Equity? What is Lovely Media? What is, they look you up right away, dude. And it's very fast, very easy. So don't bullshit. Don't bullshit. Be honest, be authentic, build true relationships. It's about return on relationships.
I'd rather be honest with somebody so they know who I am than to.
Yeah. They're human beings. Okay. They're
Not.
human beings. And just see them as a brother. Just look at Steve's face and be like, I'm about to call Steve. Right. Look at Eric's face. I'm about to call Eric. And just do that. All right. So Steve, last question, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Again, thank you all for listening, for just hearing me go on about this stuff. I hope my excitement is infecting you and making you excited about what's going on too. Go ahead, Steve.
So I'm super excited about it, but I feel super under equipped. So like I'm hearing like the key is to call a broker, leverage you, and I guess like pull I really I'm doing my best to get it all. It's a lot of information. But I just want to make sure like, that I'm taking the steps necessary because I know for me personally, I don't have a 10,000 to put it in and get 4 members right now, but it doesn't mean it's not possible. Like you said, I can find, but that's my question. Like the steps, like I get call a broker, leverage you, and but I don't. I mean, it sounds great, and I just personally, like as a beginner, looking at it. Yeah,
I got what you're saying. So first of all, Gary, it's not throwaway calls for practice. Okay. Every time you speak to somebody, it's a door that opens. Okay. Treat it with sacredness. Okay. Honor the time that somebody is giving to you on a call. Know that is a possibility for infinity. Anyone that you talk to on the phone. So don't treat it as a throwaway. You treat it as a throwaway, it's just going to be useless for you. Because you may open something up. All right. So I don't ever think anything happens by accident. I don't think any of you guys are hearing what I'm saying is by accident. I believe there is divine orchestration that brings us together. And we just get to say yes to each other, whatever that looks like. All right. So Steve, for you, I would say, dude, it's not like everybody just needs to call brokers and do these things. Right? Like if you want to do it, do it. But this is a team game. Okay. If I was where you're at brand new, I would be like, okay, I know Fraser. I know he's super excited. Let me just get on board what he's doing. And if I can relieve him of some time, right? He wants to call brokers. So that means, hey, Fraser, what do you do for your business? Can I make some calls for you? Can I help you with your text messaging, answering some calls? Like just provide value for somebody. If you can save somebody time, you are providing the ultimate value. All right. So don't let the amount of money that is in your bank stop you, because that is the last thing. I know it's the biggest thing in our lives, but it's the last thing that should stop you.
Steve, if you want to help me, we'll make it happen, man.
Yeah, there you go. So
help, please. For the love of God, help.
you guys built a relationship here in Vegas when we had our last retreat here. So you guys are like brothers. Figure out how you can do something together, right? One has money, one doesn't have money. Okay. Then you guys come together as one entity, go find a couple more people, and now you got this thing going.
Heck yeah.
And then I promise you, Steve, you being a newbie, you come and be a part of this fund manager thing. You're going to be speaking, you're going to be running circles around people in like 6 months.
Okay.
Everybody in my mastermind is running circles around other people. They may not know it themselves, but they are. Because there's no way you're involved in this conversation day in, day out, and not running circles around other people. So, okay, that's enough time. I know I just kept extending it. I know it's kind of like an exciting conversation, but listen, put your info in that link. Max, can you just put it one more time? So put your info in that link. I'm gonna be sending something out, okay, for it, and it's like a private invite, right? I haven't even looked at this list. I know a lot of people have signed up. We're gonna be hosting a call just to answer questions about this. And you know, for some of you guys that are brand new, first time seeing you, or first couple times that you're on this call, like, thank you, like really for real for being here. And taking your time out on a Thursday night to be here. All right, not just for me, but for yourselves too. So I acknowledge that, and I'm extremely grateful for everyone that's here. And I hope that I see you guys really soon. And I hope that we talk soon as well. There's something that we all get to do together. All right, let's find out what that is. So much blessings to everybody. Have a fantastic night. Peace
Thanks,
out,
Alex.
y'all.
Thank you, Alex. Blessings all. Good night. Be in
Bye,
touch
everyone.
soon.